right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with Crimo. How you guys doing today? I hope everybody's doing great. I hope, I hope things are good. I hope things are good. And if they're not, just remember, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. So look at that out here in the rain. I didn't mean to fall down there. All right. All the lights are on. That's super cool. Got the other wall in over there, which was super duper tedious to do, but finally got it in there. Boy, I realize I'm really bad at remembering geometries. My short-term memory maybe is going bad. I don't know, but yeah, it took me I had to rebuild that stupid wall over there a number of times because I just kept messing the pattern up, even though I was trying to copy the pattern. It was just, I don't know. And I would do the corners, and I would come over here and look at like a corner that I'd done over here somewhere, and I would try to copy it over there, and then I would be off by a block, and then I would have to change the layout. It was just, I thought it was going to take me like 2 hours to like build this wall in here, and it took me a whole day just because I'm just silly that way, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling. It's the ramble. It's the opening ramble. So today I do have a plan. I got some plans for today. I did go out and what do you guys think about that crazy? Oh man, how do I? There we go. What am I looking for? Where is it? I can't even see what I'm looking for. It's right there. Oh, there we go. I finally found a dripstone cavern, and I found right over here is calcite. So I mined up some calcite. This is all jungle in here, and then we saw in the opening. There we go. The world's smallest swamp is right there, which we saw in the opening, and it's pretty bizarre. It's super, super tiny. I mined up all the lily pads. That's literally all the lily pads that swamp had, which was just strange. And I was thinking like maybe it would be a cool spot to put a slime farm. I do want to try an idea I have for a slime farm that I haven't seen on YouTube yet, because there's an interesting thing with the light levels as far as how mobs spawn in a swamp, but I would have to end up lighting all that. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'd have to end up lighting up, quite a ways around, although there's a lot of water, so I'd have to go 128 blocks in this direction and that direction and light everything up in the desert. But a desert's not too difficult to light things up in, maybe. So anyway, we'll try that in the future. All right, got rid of the rain. So today, there's a bunch of like standard farms that I need to build because I need to have like some resources gathering while we go. All this stuff needs to be decorated all through in here. So today I believe is putting in some standard farms that we need. Just farms that are just sort of AFK-able, should just run in the background, although they are crop-based farms. So I'm a little concerned about putting farms over here and then working a lot in this area. And the further we go inland back in here to build stuff up, which will happen eventually, the further away I will be from these blocks. And I think, crops only grow within 128 blocks, I think, of a player. So that's kind of a bummer because I didn't want to put the farms in this area, but maybe I need to do that. I don't know. I kind of wanted this to be all village. I don't know. If I build farms over here, I can always move them, if there's like a reason to do that. And then like even putting farms over there, but that's pretty far away. So I think I have an idea for what I want to start building over here. But we'll get to that. So that's what we're going to do. So the first order of business today is to go fix these light posts. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about a few things. I got a couple topics to talk about today. So let's take all this down. That actually can stay there, I think. Yeah, right. Give me my blocks back. Okay, come here, fence. Yeah, I got a couple things to chat about. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was a comment that Dan Bannon, and he said something pretty interesting that I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. So we're going to try to, crime-o here, flipping around. I'm going to flip around from a couple different topics here while I build. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try this design out here with the warped wood first. Yeah, so Dan said something in his comment. I'll put it up on the screen here, and I thought it was pretty interesting. He mentioned that he kind of enjoyed one aspect that he likes about my videos is the lack of the fast editing, the fast-paced editing. He was like, yeah, it's kind of like my dopamine detox time to sort of chill out and watch your videos. And I was like, oh, dude, that's actually really cool. I really appreciate that. And I think I might, I'm not like leaning into it is kind of not the right word because I just kind of edit the way that I edit, just is what it is. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool because, yeah, we all need dopamine detox for sure. Like I was telling him and I responded to his comment, I can't personally do, I get really overwhelmed really quickly with anything that has an infinite scroll. Like I can't do Twitter. I can't do Reddit anymore. I can't do, I could never do Facebook. I got off Facebook years and years ago, but I can't, let's see. We want to make sure everything goes on the same direction. So anything with an infinite scroll, TikTok, can't do TikTok. Nothing like that. Oh, that's not the right way, is it? No, let's take that out. I just get overwhelmed with the infinite scroll. It kind of makes me nauseous, which sounds kind of weird to say that, but there you go. I want to put one of these on the other side. Can I do it through here? Let's see. Can I slide around? That is not the right spot. What is going on here? Oh, no, that is right. Okay. That's weird that connects. I didn't realize trapdoors connected to fences like that. Huh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, anyway, so that's, I want to do the same design, but I'm going to do it in birch because I want to look at the two different takes. I do actually like this with the warped wood, but again, just like this green oxidized stuff, the blue sort of blends in. It isn't very contrasty, but we'll leave it like that for a while and we'll put the birch version up over here. Actually, I will do the other ones all in birch because I do actually enjoy the birch as far as the look for these lamps. But yeah, I think it's a nicer, and because of the birch trapdoors, which you'll see here in a second, they do kind of have a weird streetlight sort of view kind of look to them. But anyway, yeah, I was happy to hear that about the dopamine detox idea. I thought was very cool. I'm actually going to try a different technique with this video edit. I'm going to actually maybe do some voiceover and just lay that in over some of the building to see if I can like talk more clearly or more succinctly, because right now I'm talking while I'm building and it's just a struggle. It's always a struggle. And I do want to get a lot of work done today. So we'll see how that goes. We want to take this out here and reverse it like that. There we go. And then we do want to go back up there and put in some of these trap doors. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think about dopamine detoxing and how do you guys deal with all these sites. I think definitely age has something to do with it. Now see this one, I put in regular quartz slab and that's the smooth quartz slab. And I think the slight shadow, the slight bevel, the appearance of a bevel is kind of cooler. I don't know if I have a preference. I keep trying to figure that out. So we want to put one here, close that. Oh, I might want that the other way, right? With the little handle there at the top. So we would put that in there at the bottom and flip it up. There we go. And then we put one on top there. Oh, I kind of want that all pointing the other way. Interesting. How am I going to do that? Kind of a weird bit here, but let's see. So if I do this, and then I do this, there we go. And then if I do this, and we put a block out here, we put a block out. That's kind of nonsense that I have to do it this way, but you know, you want to get what you want to get, got to do it the way that works. Yeah, let's try it out here. So we got, there we go. And then the only thing I didn't do was I didn't put that one last trap door on the other side. So we'll do that again by jumping up on here. Oh no, there we go. I can jump from the boat. That's good. And put it right there. Cool. Now see, because of the cool panels in the birch trap door, I kind of like that. It kind of has a very, yeah, it's got like a streetlight look to it, doesn't it? Like diffusion panels or whatever. Maybe they're solar panels. I don't know. It's kind of cool. But that is much more contrasty in the birch. Like that birch really stands out, right? Boy, the blue one really, you can't see it. It really doesn't stand out at all. It's cool. I do like the design. I think it's neat. These trapdoors are really, really nice. All right, so we got a couple more lights here to do. I'm going to knock these out. I'm going to bring up this other topic that I was thinking about today. This is just a weird concept. It's just sort of armchair philosophy type stuff. I have no idea. I'm sure this stuff like this is out there as far as, theories or not theory, or I don't know what it's called. It's just a concept. It's just a concept that I found interesting. 1, 2, 3. We'll put these guys up here and like that. Okay. But it's going to be hard for me to build and talk about this at the same time. So I'm just going to kind of start working on stuff, and I will record the voiceover separate, which seems kind of weird, but there you go. So there's this concept that I've been thinking about that's been kind of like really intriguing me, and admittedly, it doesn't really matter one way or another. But check this out. A lot of you might be like, whatever, dude, who cares? And that's totally fine. I just think this is an interesting idea. It might mean that the universe is deterministic. And what do we mean by this term deterministic? That means that the idea of fate or of even a free will, which is, this is what freaks most people out when we talk about stuff like this, but fate or predetermined outcomes, like they might exist, like our universe might actually be that way. Now, check it out. This was my mental exercise that I started thinking about, and I haven't researched this or anything. I just sort of was thinking about it like a thought experiment. And I was thinking about the asteroid that hit the Earth that killed the dinosaurs. So we're just using that event as an example, right? So we all know, when I mean we, I'm talking about the human race, right? I'm talking about, I'm generalizing certain things here. So we know, we think we understand, or we know that the way gravity works and the way that celestial objects such as planets and galaxies, whatever, how these things interact through gravity, and why they swirl, like a galaxy is a big swirl because starting with the Big Bang, or whatever started this universe, because we really don't understand what the Big Bang, quote unquote, was. But whatever started the universe going in physical motion, and I'm being very rudimentary here because I don't know a lot about science or technical stuff. So I'm talking in very layman's terms because I only understand this sort of a thing in layman's terms. So the thing that I was thinking about is that, okay, there's this asteroid that hurtled through space and hit the Earth, right? And it's like, I think mathematically speaking, you could look at that asteroid's path through the universe and literally trace it all the way back to the Big Bang. So that whatever the conditions were when the quote unquote Big Bang happened, whatever started our universe expanding and into motion because of the laws of physics, that event was always going to happen. In other words, if the universe started a certain way, the chain of events will always be the same. So that rock that hit the earth hurtling through space is always going to hit the earth, no matter how many times you reset the universe, as long as all of the settings at the beginning are the same. I was talking to my buddy about this, and he was likening it to a pool table. He was like, well, what, this is like what? If you rack the pool balls and then you break, the pool balls, a triangular pattern of pool balls, and then all the balls go, wherever they go. But they go into those as just like an isolated example, like a theoretical example. If you have this pool table and the pool ball set up in the triangle. Again, I don't know anything about pool or technical terms, so you break that brace of pool balls, and they scatter based on the laws of physics and geometry. Every time, if you were to redo that rack, but in the theoretical experiment, you reset the rack, and the person hitting the racket, everything is done exactly the same way, like down to an infinite level, right, of muscle movements and placement of the cue, and everything is the same. Those pool balls are going to follow the same path that they did on the first rack. It's like it would just be recreated. If everything is the same, then the pool balls explode in the same pattern. And so that concept just trips me out, that the idea that this asteroid hit Earth, killed a bunch of, dinosaurs on Earth. But the idea that trips me out is that rock that hit Earth was put in motion all the way back at the beginning of the universe. And then what does that mean when you extrapolate that idea to everything in the universe? So the universe is deterministic, like everything is going to happen the way it is going to happen no matter what, because everything is based on chain reactions, right? A chain of events. So everything that happened before us to get us to this point now is literally determining how we're going to progress in the future. And that is a really interesting notion to me. It doesn't really mean anything as far as like, the idea like, do we have free will? Do we not have free will? I'm starting to think that we don't. That, the idea is that we don't know where our thoughts come from. We can't control the generation of a thought in our head. The thought just appears and we react to it. The most control you can get over your thoughts is through meditation, I think, right? Where you learn how to just let thoughts slide over your consciousness, right? And you don't grasp onto them. But even then, that person, that Zen master is not controlling what thought pops into his head or her head. She's meditating, and then a thought appears, and you have to just literally you have to just consciously let that thought like float away, slide over you. You don't pay attention to it or concentrate on it. That's the crux of meditation, right? So if you don't know or control how your thoughts appear or what they will be, how can you really have free will? Because you're constantly only in reaction mode. You're only reacting to thoughts that appear in your head. And all of those thoughts that we have and the actions we take and the decisions we make in life, there's that, it's like that whole butterfly effect. It's like, are we just filling in the pattern that mathematically is out there in front of us based on all of the previous events leading up to the point where we appeared on this planet and who our parents were and where we were born and blah, 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 and everything else, right? Because everything is already like this huge, massive, universe-sized like chain of events. And from our perspective inside our heads, we can't tell the difference. We think we have free will. We make choices, and you have to live life like that. There's no way around it, right? You live life from the perspective of you make a choice that is an autonomous choice. But I'm starting to wonder if it's not an autonomous choice and we are just living through a pattern that is determined already. Even though that doesn't mean anything as far as like living your life, you still have to go through life and make, you choose to be a good person. Like my friend was like, well, you're just giving me license to be a bad person because I can just say it's just predetermined that way. And I was like, no, that's not what this means at all. Like, if you decide hearing this information might be a strong word for this. If you decide hearing this discussion that you can just be a bad person, well, then it was always meant to be that you were going to go forward and be a bad person. You were always going to be that. But if you hear this and you're like, well, whatever, and I'm still going to try to be a good person, that is what was always meant to be. In some ways, it's kind of grim to think about the idea that everything is predetermined and that we're just sort of fulfilling the manifestation of the mathematical future because of how much grief and sorrow and pain there is in the world. But there's also, so much joy and empathy and other things in the world. I don't think you can have, that's the world is going to have pain and the opposite of pain. What is the opposite of pain? Whatever. It's going to have bad stuff and good stuff because I feel like the universe works off of that. The universe functions off of friction. Like that's part of the fundamental nature of the physics of our universe, right? You can't just have everything be great or everything be terrible because that balance, the lack of balance would default to a state of entropy where nothing would it just wouldn't work, right? So you need bad and good, and it's sort of like the energies conflicting against each other. The friction is part of the whole like the motor of the universe. Anyway, I'm getting way into the weeds on this, but I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this idea of the deterministic universe and just this idea of like if I'm really fascinated by the idea that the asteroid hit Earth, that you could look at that asteroid and trace it all the way back through all of its interactions with all the other particles in the universe and all the way to where it originated at the time of the Big Bang, right? Which, of course, at the time of the Big Bang, it wasn't like a physical asteroid. It was a bunch of atoms that at some point coalesced into an asteroid that, then was hurtling through space or whatever and bouncing off of suns and other gravitational pulls and whatever. But it's all geometry. It's all just geometry and physics. And that means that the world is deterministic. I don't know. It kind of blows my mind a little bit. Anyway, it's probably a nonsense, probably a nonsense thing to talk about here. But hey, I've got other things to chat about. I've got a list of them. I've been writing things for future episodes. So, strap in. I'm just kidding. They're not going to be super high concept like this all the time. But yeah, anyway, I was thinking about that. So today we talked about dopamine detoxing, although we didn't talk too much about that. That actually we could go into a lot more detail on getting your dopamine detox on from social media and other things and the fast edits and how much of our attention span is captured in the sub-second to 2-second edit times and everything else. And don't get me wrong, I love fast edits and energy paced. I'm an editor. I really enjoy that. Music videos, great. I love all that stuff. But I also do at the same time feel there are times it doesn't always have to be like that. Slow edits can be fine if the content is still captivating. In fact, we were talking about in the comments. So we were talking about filmmaking techniques and stuff, and I was comparing like Spielberg and some of the shots that he does versus some of the crazy edited shots that are in a lot of modern films, right? And how Spielberg can use a long take that actually seems and feels like an edited series of shots, but it's actually one take. Like the camera will move into like a close-up and then pull back into a wide and then turn, pan and follow a person moving into another room and then focus down into a macro shot of a detail and then pull back out or tilt up and show a person's face talking. And, like a typical filmmaker might do that in a series of edits, and that cutting, is jarring to it's jarring and capturing your attention and making you focus, because it's literally hijacking your focus. But through Spielberg's technique, it's a much more flowing, and it's still attention grabbing because it's kind of hypnotic, but it isn't quite as like dopamine inducing. So anyway, this is all topics we could talk for hours and hours about, whatever. So yeah, anyway, you guys let me know down in the comments if you think any of this stuff is interesting, or if you just want me to shut up and just go build things. But speaking about shutting up and going to build things, that's what I'm gonna do now. Well, let me stop here. This is, I just realized that this is nonsense, what I'm doing here. What do I mean by nonsense? Well, actually I was going to add in another module back here, because it just occurred to me that, we could actually just use this redstone signal here to put in a whole nother layer of pistons. I'm going to probably do that, but what I mean by nonsense is that this is not a build style that I should be doing, or that I want to be doing in this world. My whole idea is to give everything sort of the village character, sort of the aesthetic of a village. And this is just sort of a little, functional build that really has no design aesthetic or fit into, this is just a very little modern, it's just purely a farm. There's not really any aesthetics to it. And right when I completed this, I was like, wait a minute, this is not appropriate. This is not the way I should be building anything in this world, because it's fine to build things like this. I'm not saying that there's a problem with me building this. I'm just saying, oh yeah, remember my own personal mantra for this world. This build does not fit in it. Now, to fit this, obviously I'm going to need a sugarcane farm, but I would need to build a structure basically over this that sort of fits more of our medieval, even this building's a little, nothing I do is completely truly medieval, whatever, but it's definitely not. This is definitely not what the aesthetic for the area I want to go for. So, yeah, I need to shift gears here. And I thought a little bit about what I'm going to actually do for the rest of this episode. And I'm going to build a sheep farm. Sheep farm? I'm going to build a wool farm instead. I'm going to let this guy sit here and just run while I'm over there building. But I will come back and probably remove this and reconsider how to do, how to aesthetically build this sugarcane farm in a visual aesthetic that I want for this place, for this world, for this area, for Axe Harbor, basically. So yeah, so I'm going to shift gears and grab my stuff, and we're going to run over to the other area and do something that I really wasn't planning to do today, but we're going to do it anyway, because that's how Mo rolls, apparently. All right. We got something done here, I guess. This took me an awful long time to do this here. And I went through a couple iterations on color choices and stuff. And I don't know, I just wanted to get it done. So, but it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun doing this sort of very, yeah, I don't know. This is definitely much more in line with how I want to sort of approach the area here, the little village or whatever this is going to turn out to be, Axe Harbor. But yeah, I'm kind of digging this whole thing. It's a little, I mean, let's talk about a couple things here. Like it's kind of silly, first off, right? That this that this barn is down in a dell or down in a pit of grass or whatever. You would never build a structure down where all the water would drain. So anyway, but hey, Minecraft is mostly fantasy oriented, right? We can have floating blocks and stuff. So I've got a barn down here in the bottom. Now, obviously I got to make, pathways up out of here and things like that. And also, not super, I mean, this is kind of okay. We got some extra storage up here. I've only got 5 sheep in here, and that seems to be plenty because just in the probably 5 or 6 hours I spent over the last couple of days building this pair of buildings here in this little area, I mean, that's a ton of wool, like just for a couple of hours. So that's plenty, I feel. And I'll just, speaking of that, let's see, some of these path design elements here, like using the spruce wood stairs and slabs, might change into stone. I'm not really sure. I kind of just punched out the pathways just sort of quickly. The more that I build, the more I think that I'm going to have to go to the end to get shulker boxes. I just can't get over how much freaking space I need to have blocks to play with. What I was going to do is, because all this wool is going to be white, I figured I should put down the 2 tall flowers here. So, for dyes and whatnot. I still got to put some decoration in here. So anyway, for now, I'm just going to stash these guys in here like this. And of course, sunflower faces the wrong way. But anyway, there we go. Have some grass. Some other flowers and stuff. There we go. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah, we have a little access panel here if we need to go down and mess with the redstone. If I can actually go into the thing. Hello. There we go. So we can easily access this down here, which is not really a big deal. But if this minecart ever stops running or whatever, and then the redstone's back there, no problem to get down there. That's cool. Oh yeah, it was kind of fun to build it at night finally, and it seemed like at least in this area here, I wasn't close enough to the darker areas to bring in too many mobs, so that was good. So yeah, I one thing I do want to say is that this texture palette, using the bricks and the white terracotta, I directly stole from a YouTuber called Infinite Drift. I actually kind of like her stuff quite a bit, actually. She does a lot of long plays, those sort of no commentary long plays, but she also does Let's Play and stuff. And she's very cool, and her build style is very fun, and I just basically stole it right from her, because I was like, oh, I want to try that out. The bricks and the white terracotta, I think it seemed to work pretty good. What's up, man? What are you doing? Hanging out. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. It's very, very, I'm going to say it, cottage core. I really have never tried this style out, and I'm really kind of digging it. All this back here needs to be filled in with stuff. I have a path come back here, add some more bushes maybe, stuff like that. But so the question is, whose house is this going to be? Well, initially I thought, of course, it's going to be the shepherd's house. But then I was like, I don't need a shepherd, right? Like, really, a shepherd is not usually one that people typically make a shepherd to trade with, because their trades aren't super great. I think the best trade I like out of the shepherd is the possibility to buy paintings from them, the painting block, for a couple of emeralds. So, but I have so much wool coming in now that I was like, well, yeah, I don't know, we could put a shepherd in here. Because my other idea was, when I was initially doing the build, I was thinking that I would I was thinking that I would drop a fisherman in here, which is kind of why I went with this little stilted porch here. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put a fisherman in there or a shepherd. I'm not sure. It seems with the sheep that it's probably a fisherman can have, some sheep hanging out. No big deal. But anyway, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure who's going to go in there, a fisherman or a shepherd, one or the other. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We don't have elytras, so we can't really fly around to look at the roof lines and stuff. And of course, it doesn't have an interior yet. And all this needs to be terraformed in here somehow. Grassy Hill is fine, but it's a little awkward to sort of come down here and drop through this path, drop down through here and then come up. But it's whatever. So maybe I think what I'll end up doing is putting in some sort of like water garden in here, or something that's more of a, I don't know, something that's more of a non-traversable area. This goofy mushroom has to probably go away. This guy can stay. Finally used some glow lichen and stuff, so that's kind of cool. Everything else is kind of bright, overly lit with a lot of the other lighting blocks that are out here, so it's no big deal. But yeah, so if I kind of fence this in, or if that's really not like a passable area through here, then that makes this pathway. You come down here and cruise right on over here and up and to visit the villager, whoever's going to end up taking residence in this spot. Yeah, the villager, I believe, will probably hem the villager into these 6 blocks right here. So they'll like hang out in here, and they won't be able to walk out, but they'll have a little freedom to roam, so we can kind of see them in the windows or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool, rather than like trapping them in one corner. And yeah, if they're kind of hemmed into these 6 blocks right here, that will still allow us plenty of room to come in here and wander through to the doorway and out onto the nice little, overgrown sort of little balcony here, which is kind of cool. I don't have any interior decorations done yet. I kind of got overwhelmed doing the outside decoration, so I'm going to try to decorate this maybe off camera or whatever, and we'll show it off in the next episode. Or maybe it'll be a little time lapse to open up the next episode. We'll see. I don't know. My game doesn't do real well with. I don't know. It doesn't do real well with. Like every time the sheep gets sheared, and those items pop off. Even if it's just one item, there is a weird little lag spike in my game, and I'm not really sure why that is. I mean, yes, other than I'm playing on a Mac. Prior to 1.18, I didn't have any weird lag issues, and I don't really understand. I mean, I guess the caves make the whole game laggier. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of a pain. Someday I'll just have to upgrade my computing system. New Macs are coming out by the end of the year, so maybe that's, whatever. Maybe that's in the future. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But remember, whatever's in the future is already in motion. And so if I get one, or if I don't get one, it was always meant to be. Determinism. I'm sure that's bound to spur some commentary there. Yes, I did go on and read some lots of sort of anti-determinism arguments and other philosophical things, and it's just an interesting topic. It's just an interesting concept, which is why I kind of wanted to talk about it here. But yeah, anyway, so super cool. I hope you guys like the builds. Thank you guys for hanging out so much. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great week. And I will see you. I'll see you when I see you. See ya.